All right, everybody, welcome to A-Town Rundown. It's late right now. We just finished watching the Hawks get defeated horribly by the New York Knicks, and now it's kind of put us in a situation where Jeremy and I said that we didn't want to be. If the Hawks want to win this playoff series, they have to force a Game 7, and it's got to be in Madison Square Garden, which you heard us talk about before. We don't want that to happen, but inevitably now it has to if we want to win this playoff series. And the last we were on the high. We were sitting great. We won 2 games in a row. We thought that we had it in the bag, and then Game 4 came along, and I don't know what happened there. I don't know how we fell apart the way we did, but I was confident that that wasn't going to happen tonight, and it happened. Did almost just as bad. It got to the point out there, I didn't know what team I was watching, but it didn't look like I was watching the Atlanta Hawks anymore. CJ McCollum was almost non-existent. They started doing the rally that I told you I hate, that absolutely bothers me, where I understand in order to get back in the lead, you have to make the most points possible. But can we stop making all these unnecessary threes, especially when you're wide open and nobody's guarding you because they don't believe you're going to make them? Take it to the paint, draw a foul, or get an automatic 2 like you know that you can. But you're seeing guys go out there like Jalen. Jalen looked like he was launching the ball instead of shooting the ball. Dyson maybe made 1. Alexander Walker, I think, made 2. But other than that, it was nothing but missed 3-point shots. Even Gabe Vincent, who was almost automatic at the end of the regular season with 3-point shots, couldn't make them. It seemed like the victories we had were so tight, so heavily contested. They were such a good morale boost, but it's almost like, I don't know if we woke up New York and they are more than we expected them to be, or maybe we're not as good as we thought we were going into this, because watching these past 2 games, it's almost like you're watching an amateur league team, like a team that's not ready to be where they are right now. And it's pretty disheartening. I'm not saying we can't pull it out. I'm not saying we can't, go to the next level of the playoffs, but you can't do it like this. And it was a disaster these past 2 games.
How dare you talk about my team like that? I'm just kidding. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Look, the Knicks are very experienced, and they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They beat the Celtics last year, even though Jason Tatum got hurt. But they beat the Celtics last year. Ended up losing to the Pacers, I think, in 7. So the Knicks are primed for, playoff basketball.
Yeah,
the Hawks are a very young team that are getting into this. And I was explaining to my wife earlier, like, she's very disappointed, like, I'm like, she's just very unsatisfied with this. And I mean, of course, we all are as Hawks fans. Like, if we lose this series, of course, we're unsatisfied. But at the same time, it's like every single minute that this team gets in the playoffs bodes well for them in the future.
Yes.
And we talked about this like closer to the end of the season. We talked about what the playoff like expectations were. It wasn't like they're going to go win a championship.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not saying that they can't win this series still. Like, they still can. Like, we did not get eliminated tonight on Tuesday night. We still have Game 6 on Thursday, and we have Game 7 on Saturday. And I have a feeling we're going to Game 7 on Saturday.
Yeah.
But the Hawks have to make a lot of changes as far as their attitude. I think tonight and on this past Saturday in Game 4, like, the Hawks weren't playing with attitude. The Knicks are all of a sudden playing with attitude. They're coming out Game 4. They come out and punch us right in the mouth. And we really never responded in that first quarter.
No, we still haven't responded, to be completely honest.
Well, I'll say that the way that we started this game, it seemed like we were responding. The first quarter of this game seemed like we had a plan. The plan was, from what I could tell, was that Dyson Daniels was going to guard Karl Anthony Towns straight up. And that was going to be his assignment. And figure out, like, they'll have to figure out how to switch off of Dyson from Karl Anthony Towns. And it was working. Karl Anthony Towns he didn't even get a shot off in the first, 10 minutes of the first quarter. And then all of a sudden we put Dyson on the bench and he's gone for God knows how long. I mean, and then all of a sudden Karl Anthony Towns gets going.
Yeah, he comes to life.
And then we're down by 8. Then we're down by 10. Then we're down by 12. Then we're down by 16.
Because I was about to say,
we never really recovered after that.
It was working, and I think up until they benched Dyson, like, it was working just fine. And then we ended up at the end of the first quarter, I think they outscored Atlanta by 12 or 13 by the end of the first quarter?
Something like that. But if you look at
practically because of that reason.
Going up to the fourth quarter, it was really like we hung there with the Knicks except for that first quarter. and it was like there at the end, and it was when Dyson went to the bench. And I'm not sure, like, is there something going on with Dyson? Like, I haven't heard any injury talk or anything. Obviously, the game just ended. We don't know.
Hmm.
But, like, why was he sitting so much? Another thing, shout out to Dyson. He was the most consistent offensive player all night.
Yeah,
And
absolutely he was.
all series, I was hearing about how he was an offensive liability and that he couldn't make shots and he couldn't make open threes. He made an open three tonight. I think he took 3 of them total. But the Knicks left him open early and he hit it. That should change things. But all of a sudden you stop going to him and you stop having him out on the floor. And I kept seeing like Jalen Johnson is guarding Karl Anthony Towns. It's like, well, we've seen that already and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I think the Knicks also did a good thing for themselves by going through Karl Anthony Towns instead of just Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Every time they go to Jalen Brunson to go play hero ball, like, it bodes well for the Hawks because we can lock him down with one guy. We have multiple guys that can lock him down. One guy, like, yeah, and he's going to get some, but he's not going to kill you. The problem is when other guys are beating you. And the last 2 games, it's been Karl Anthony Towns and it's been OG Anunoby.
That's exactly who I wanted to say, because when we went into this series, you and I made such a point to talk about Robinson, to talk about Towns, to talk
Yeah.
about Brunson, and we completely left out on Anunoby. And now it's like, okay, that's just another problem, because every time we lock down Brunson, every time we get Cat out of his rhythm, this guy comes around and he's demolishing us.
Yeah, and it's like, I hate to really break it down to like the positive for the Hawks was like the first half of the first quarter because that's bad. And if you look at the final score, like that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It was because we had Dyson on Karl Anthony Towns, and we had that let us free up Onyeka to guard OG Anunoby. So you have a very big guy or a guy that's bigger than Anunoby on Anunoby, and you have a smaller guy who's just very good with his hands and very good at on-ball defense on Karl Anthony Towns, and that was working. And I'm not sure if the Knicks like figured out a way to get away from that, like as the game went on, but or if Quinn Snyder just kind of stopped focusing on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure. And again, the game just ended, so I'm not married to any of the things I'm saying right now as far as like what happened in the game. Like as the next 2 days go forward, like before we get to the next game, like I may change my opinion, but that's what I saw tonight.
Yeah.
That was working really well. And then all of a sudden it wasn't happening anymore. I don't know if it's the Knicks made an adjustment or if Quinn Snyder just stopped focusing on that.
And I will say, I can very easily be quoted on this podcast with something I said a couple of weeks ago. With all things considering, like, even as far as the Hawks have come with all the odds they had stacked against them this season, I am ultimately proud of where they are, proud of what they've done, proud of,
Same.
like, even losing out of this series, I'm still proud of what they did this season. It's just
Which
so
they haven't
hard.
yet.
It's so hard to watch them lose the way they have the past 2 games against none other than the New York Knicks, who I absolutely hate with my entire heart. I think that's what's making me so upset.
Dude, bro.
It's taking away from all of the positive aspects for me, because yes, I'm proud of like losing Trae Young, losing Porzingis, having to basically build a brand new team in the middle of the season and then making it work and then getting to the playoffs. Like, of course, there's so much to be proud of, and the team's only going to get better with the draft. Like next season, you're probably going to see the best Hawks team you've seen in a while if everything keeps going the way it's going. But
I agree.
To have these 2 lackluster, for lack of a better words, or for a better word than I want to say at this point in the show right now.
I was about to say, how many more minutes do we have left?
But to have these last 2 games turn out the way they have, and have tonight be in Madison Square Garden with all the snot-nosed Knicks fans just talking all their smack, like lose to a different team. That's all I'm saying. Like, it just had to be the Knicks.
Yeah, no, man, I feel you. I can't stand the Knicks fans, and we're going on 30 more seconds before I can really start talking about it. But yeah, no, I don't like losing to the Knicks, but to be fair, the Knicks have led this series before. They won 1-0, or they were leading 1-0. Now they're leading 3-2. And the Hawks responded last time by winning 2 in a row. It's still out there. It can still happen.
Yeah.
Am I betting all my money on it? Probably not. I picked the Hawks in 6. I never wavered until they lost this game. You know, like obviously now
5,
it's
4,
you know,
3, 2, one, we can officially say
All
fuck
right.
the New York
I
Knicks.
fucking hate the Knicks.
I
I
fucking hate the Knicks.
It
Jesus
is
Christ.
the amount of flopping that I'm seeing in this series is insane. It's like
Yeah.
even when they get calls, Jalen Brunson is over there like yelling at the ref. I'm like, what are you doing? And look, I understand like Trae Young used to be that way, and I used to complain about it when Trae Young was doing that. Like he would even get an and one, and he like immediately would go yell at a ref like before he got the ball to shoot his free throw. I'm seeing Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, like Karl Anthony Towns. All these guys are doing this to them, and because of this officiating, and it's not the full story of like why the Hawks are losing this series right now. It's not just the refs. But the Knicks are able to play with a level of physicality that the Hawks are not.
Yes, and that's the point. That's the point I was trying to make. That is what is bothering me so much. When you were in the fourth quarter and you start making somewhat of a rally, like you were down by 16 at this point, but 16 with what 10 minutes left is not unreachable in the NBA. You can come back from that if you really try. And they're finally down there. They're playing perimeter defense. They're blocking shots and everything. But every time they get the ball,
they could string a couple possessions together. But
Jeremy, every time they get the ball, they're going and they're parking behind the arch. They're just going, they're running, and they're coming to a full stop behind the arch and just missing a three. At that point in the game, you need to gash your opponent. You need to take it to your opponent. You need to take it to the rim, take it to the paint, draw a foul, get the easy layup, do whatever you can to keep the momentum on your side. Don't just run and park your ass at the fucking 3-point line and then miss a 3-point and give them the rebound and they go and score on you. Stop doing that shit.
Yeah, no, man. And that's what we've talked about this whole we previewed this series saying that, like, if the Knicks get you in the half court game, you're at a disadvantage. Like the Hawks,
and we keep allowing them. We keep giving them. We keep giving them the half court game.
And they might be doing that to us. And you got to give them some credit. Like they're making us play their game. And there's been moments in this series, especially in this game and in Game 4, that the Knicks seemed like they were the fast break team. And that we're the half court team, but we're just not good at half court, like they're kind of putting us in that position. But yeah, I 1,000% agree with you, man. Like that's exactly the thing that the Hawks have to do. And Jonathan Kuminga has been like a big spark plug for this team in the playoffs. And, since he came over to this team, but when I'm seeing him like take jump shots and miss them, it's like, bro, I know that you can make them sometimes, but like that's not your skill set. Like, you have to impose your physicality on people.
Absolutely.
That's when you win. And you saw him head above the rim hit that alley-oop over Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, so do it again.
Early on in the game.
Doing that.
Like that's your advantage. That's what you can do when you're out moving. They get confused, and you're athletic enough to get up and get above the rim like that. Yo, that's it. That's what's going to give you the advantage to win.
Oh, dude, it made me so mad.
But he kept falling into like all of a sudden he's trying to turn into a player that he's not. And I'm not saying that Jonathan Kuminga can't turn into a player that has a consistent jump shot. But he's not that right now. And in playoff time, it's not time to experiment with that shit.
Yeah.
And that should lead me into my next thing. Quinn Snyder, Tony Bradley, and Corey Kispert out on the floor as many minutes as they had tonight, which I think was a complete negative, and I haven't seen the stats yet.
Corey Kispert airballed a 3. While we're on that subject, he airballed a 3.
I mean,
I think damn near the entire team.
He got one, but like
damn near the entire team was airballing them.
I haven't looked at the stats, man, but I guarantee you that Tony Bradley and Corey Kispert were a net negative. Tony Bradley, when he was out there and it was like, hey, you're going to do a hack and Mitch, like, okay, cool, fine. Like, I'm cool with Tony Bradley fouling out. We weren't in the bonus yet, or even if we were in the bonus, and probably more advantageous if we are in the bonus to like go ahead and hack Mitchell Robinson. If you're going to do hack it with Tony Bradley, fine. But when we got over to offense, Tony Bradley's standing at the 3-point line, and he gets a pass out to him from Dyson, which I don't think that Dyson was probably could have just done one of his teardrop floaters. Like I would have been happier with that, even if he missed. But he passes it out to Tony Bradley, and Tony Bradley's standing there like unguarded, doesn't know what to do. Like he's not going to take that shot. Like he killed the offense completely, and he didn't bring us a lot of defense tonight. Corey Kispert, there's better guys on the bench.
Player, dude. That's your favorite player.
Oh, I wish he was. You know how much I want to root for the white guys in the NBA. Like,
I know.
If only we had one. Corey Kispert ain't that guy, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's just not. Reese Shea is right there on the bench. I believe I would rather see Reese Shea learn in a
Well, you're
playoff
not the
series
only person
than
saying
Corey
that,
Kispert.
dude. If you listen
I'm
to
certainly
Atlanta right
not.
now, like everybody is saying, why aren't you playing Reese Shea? Everybody's saying that, especially in situations like that. Like, why not even put Buddy Hield in? Like, why not let him learn right now? Especially when we're down, 30 points, with 5 minutes left? Go ahead. Let him in there.
Well, I mean, Buddy Hield, like, you're getting the experience in there, but Buddy Hield just doesn't, like, he hasn't played with this team very much. I know he's been in practice with them, but he's more of like a mentor, like,
Yeah.
veteran locker room guy for this team at this point in his career. And yes,
Yeah.
like, Buddy Hield is a great
And
player.
I know that
and
we
has
were
been.
even saying that before the podcast started. Like, yes, I know he has experience, but I know that when I say inexperience, I'm saying with the Hawks, but also at the same time, like, couldn't there be a moment to kind of let his experience shine and kind of like be out there on the court with these young guys, kind of mentoring them in play?
Well, now you got to do it in an elimination game.
Yeah.
Like, that was the insane thing to me, is like, okay, you're already down by a lot. If you want to start trying shit, like, now's probably the time.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the elimination game. And, I'm not really sure that Quinn Snyder's going to do that in an elimination game. I bet we're going to see Corey
now
Kispert
you can't
again.
afford it. Now you can't afford to do that. You know what I'm saying?
And even with Tony Bradley, like, I know we got Tony Bradley just to guard Mitchell Robinson and just to have another big body out there, but, like, it's not working. It hasn't been working. It wasn't working in the first half. We brought him back out in the second half. Mo Gay barely played tonight.
Yeah.
And Mo Gay at least, like, brings you some attitude. He brings you some offense. If Mo Gay were standing there at the 3-point line where Tony Bradley caught that pass, he would have shot the ball. I mean, make or miss, he would have shot the ball. That's what we want. We want someone to try and score points. You're losing, but to stand there and look confused and, like, have to get it out to somebody. And I don't even remember how that possession ended, but I would bet that it ended in no points.
Okay, and to your point, like, you hit the nail on the head when you're like, you have to try to make points. And I understand that's what they're doing in those situations where they keep making shots behind the arc. But when you miss 4 3-point shots by 4 different players in a row, try something else. Stop doing that.
If you're wide open at 3, shoot the fucking ball.
Yeah.
It's the NBA. We all know, every single guy, even Tony Bradley, like, okay, I go and play basketball every week, all right? And I just go up to the local park, shout out Deshaun Park in Stone Mountain. I go up there and I shoot threes, and, I can make some. If Tony Bradley, a guy who I have no confidence in him shooting a 3 in the NBA in an NBA playoff game, I guarantee you that if he was out there at that park with me, he's hitting them. He's hitting them consistently. They all do it.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, all right, everybody, are we old enough? And this isn't even that old, but are we old enough to remember Dwight Howard? Okay, and Dwight Howard's known for being a post guy.
Are we talking about Hawks Atlanta? Are we talking about Hawks Dwight Howard?
I'm talking about Dwight Howard throughout his whole career. Do you remember him shooting threes in the NBA at all? Do you remember him
very
shooting
often?
Threes? No. But I would always get these, like, videos of Dwight Howard, like, in the summer in a gym, just putting up threes in the gym and hitting them. And everyone's like, oh, man, Dwight Howard's going to be shooting threes this year. Imagine Dwight Howard if he could shoot threes. Imagine that. That would have been incredible. Dwight Howard, I mean, amazing player. I've always loved Dwight Howard, but, like, that wasn't his game in the NBA. So, like, I know that Tony Bradley has that in him, but at the same time, it's like he knows that's not his role. And if you can't do that in a playoff game when we're down like this, why are you even at the 3-point line? Like, he wasn't, like, we were on offense, man. Like, was he trying to draw Mitchell Robinson out of the paint? That wasn't going to happen. Mitchell Robinson's not going to come out and guard Tony Bradley at the 3-point line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the amount of minutes that Tony Bradley and Corey Kispert got tonight were ridiculous to me. You have guys on that bench. There's guys on the bench that we haven't seen at all. I mean, I know they're playing Gabe Vincent a lot, and I believe in Gabe Vincent, and he brings a little bit of stability as far as, like, being your point guard, almost traditional floor general guy. But what, he took 2 threes and made 1?
Yeah.
Maybe he took 3 threes and made 1. I think one of them was, like, garbage time. the Hawks got to do something better, and they got to stick to their game plan because originally it was working. And Jalen Johnson, like, I saw him impose himself tonight.
And it does beg the question, because now that you mention it, I wonder if there is anything up with Dyson. Has he been dealing with anything this year? Didn't he have some knee problems
No, he
earlier
had a
this year?
toe thing. Yeah, great
toe
toe
thing.
sprain. Great toe sprain. That sat him out a couple games, like down the stretch. Like when they would sit him when we were playing teams that we were pretty sure we could beat,
Right.
like the Kings or something. Pretty sure he sat out that game, or like the Nets. Um, Other than that, I don't know of anything. But at this point in the NBA season, everybody's hurt. Everybody's
Yeah.
hurt. Everybody's dealing
Yeah.
with something. You know.
How
And
do
we
you
started
think
this back in
how do you think Jalen Johnson's going right now? Because I've not been too. I'm trying
Impressed?
not to be critical. I'm trying not to be critical on the kid. I'm really not, but it's just another situation where, like, every time I look up the Hawks, every time I see the pregame or whatever, all I hear is Jalen Johnson, Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's leading the team. Jalen Johnson's the new face of the Atlanta Hawks. And it's like, if you're gonna embrace that, if you're gonna, play into that role, I gotta see more from you, kid. I just do,
My thing with Jalen is they're right by saying he's our best player. I really believe that. I really believe that. Problem is that he looks inexperienced when it comes to this playoff stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think he's used to the way that the whistle goes a certain way in these series. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure he's like right now. And I'm just speaking right now. Like, he looks like he's not ready for any of that.
Yeah.
He's not ready to take over the game in the regular season. He's taking over
Regular
games
season,
because,
great.
hey, we're coming out. We're coming out next week.
But tonight he was 7 for 15 on field goals. He was 1 for 5 on 3 points. He played 35 minutes and had 18 points. I mean, he did have 10 rebounds. He did have 6 assists.
Do you have his? You're looking at his stats. Do you have his plus minus, his net rating?
Yeah, -18.
Yeah. See, that's not good.
No,
I mean,
no,
that's not good.
not at all.
No. And I said early on in this series that, especially after the first two games, and when we tied it up after the second game, that if Nikhil and Jalen continued to play like this, that we would lose the series.
And see, that's what I'm
We
saying.
haven't lost it yet, but like, bro,
I think that's why I'm being critical on him,
back
because
against the wall now.
when I'm seeing the kid who's supposed to be the new franchise player, and 35 minutes, 18 points, 1 for 5 from behind the line, 7 for 15 field goals, -18, like, it's not. I understand it's the playoffs. I understand it's much more intense. I understand you're in Madison Square Garden, but there becomes a point where you have to separate yourself from the pack, and you've got to be able to play this the way you know how to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if he's going to be that guy that we talk about,
that's what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to articulate the words I want to say, but I know that I know you're grasping what I'm saying, because
Totally.
I feel like the sentiment is the same between you and I. Is that, like, when you're that guy, when you're in that
We're all
role,
seeing it.
it doesn't matter how new you are to the league, anything like that. Like, this is when it matters. This is where you establish if you are that guy or not.
Mhm.
Like, can you handle this type of spotlight being on you? And he's not handling it in the way. And I don't know if it's just the playoffs. I don't know if it's just fatigue or what it is, but something's got to click with him here soon if they want to stay alive in this playoff.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Like, if Jalen's able to cross that threshold, it gives the Hawks a way better chance, without a doubt. But like, I did see him tonight. Like, he would see a lane and he would attack it, and I wish he was doing that all series.
But I will say
know?
this, Jeremy, there's somebody else who I'm more disappointed in, who missed all 3 of their free throws, who missed both of their 3-point attempts, who was
the villain of New York,
3 for 10 in field goals, who played 32 minutes and only scored 6 points, ended with a -14, and that is CJ McCollum. What was going on with him tonight, dude?
He had a bad night, man. Yeah, and I wish I knew. I feel like the Knicks have done a good job of making sure that CJ's not going to be the guy that beats them.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
I feel like they were shocked that
down, dude.
They were shocked initially that CJ was the guy that was beating them, and they found a way to stop him because CJ's not the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves a lane open for someone like Jalen Johnson to become that guy. I kind of thought that initially that CJ was winning these games for us because, they're locking down Jalen Johnson. They're taking Jalen
Yeah.
Johnson away. They found a way to do both, and some of that is not really that, like, I don't feel like the Knicks defense has been focused on Jalen Johnson. I feel like he's just kind of not doing it. Not
Mhm.
to change the blame from CJ to Jalen, but because CJ was bad tonight. He was bad.
Yeah.
And he's been real bad on free
I
throws
can't
in
believe
this series.
yeah, all 3 of them, like,
Real bad. I
so
didn't know
far in
his
the
percentage, but
series
it's not good, man.
well, so far in the series, and he went 5 for 7 in one game, but then the last game he went 1 for 3, and tonight he went 0 for 3 at the line for 3 throws. So I don't know what's going on with
And
that.
remember that game that we stole in, was it game 2? The
In New
first one
York?
of the series? Yeah.
Yeah.
He missed 2 free throws,
Mhm.
and then we survived the defensive possession.
And like, don't get
Like,
me wrong.
bro,
I'm no NBA player, and like you put me at the
me
line,
either.
I might
Same.
make 50% free throws. I might make 30% free
I
throws.
I
But
doubt it. I doubt you make
but I
either.
feel like yeah, I might make 20%. I might make 10%. But in all honesty, like I feel like free throws are something. It's a fundamental thing that I feel like just gets so overlooked because that's 3 points we could have had. I I just don't like when I see players miss free throws that I know should be able to make them, and I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it
I
at that.
agree. I
It's
agree.
very
And
disheartening.
I told you last episode that, CJ's not the free throw shooter that you think he is. Like, I
Mhm.
think by his career, or at least this season, he was like 77%,
I think you just
which is
expect
still
him to be
pretty
because
good.
I
He's
think you
not
just
doing
expect him
that.
to
He's not
be
doing that in this series. You know what I
because I
mean? Like,
just don't see how
he's not
free
shooting 70%.
throws. I don't see how free throws are harder to make than mid range shots because you're great mid range, but when you get 10 feet away from the bucket, you're not. I don't understand. I don't know how that translates because I don't play basketball. I'm not in the
Yo, but
NBA, so
sometimes
I
you're in
don't
that
have an answer
rhythm.
for that.
You're
Yeah,
dribbling back and forth, you're going through the legs and everything, you got that rhythm, and you come up and you do a little shot. Like, sometimes it goes in a little bit easier when you're doing that.
yeah. I
Now, I
guess.
mean, you got to throw in the factor if someone's playing defense on you. I agree with you, though. Like, NBA players at this level, especially, like, if you're a scorer, I
Hmm.
expect you to make those. I'm sure CJ's, like, disappointed in his free throws. I know he is. I
Yeah.
know he
Like
is,
I understand big men. I understand your center and everything not being
Yeah,
good at them
Mitchell
because
Robinson or something,
the only
yeah.
time they ever shoot is when they're right under the basket. They dunk
Right.
it or they make the easy layup. Like I get that one.
Yeah, you're not seeing Mitchell Robinson, like, hit from,
I
25
mean,
feet or
you
something,
can even historically you can talk about Shaq, who was probably one of the worst free throw shooters ever, but one of the greatest basketball players of
It's
all
actually
time.
better than you think because, like, I saw a list of, like, worst free throw shooters, and I was like, "Where's Shaq?" And I was like, "He's
Oh,
surprisingly
he wasn't even in the
farther."
top 10.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think he was in the top 10. I was like, "He's surprisingly further down this list."
Damn.
Yeah, but he also took a lot of them. You know, he played, dude. He was in so many playoff games, and I mean, the term "hacka" came from Hack-a-Shaq.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, he was at the line a lot. Um, yeah, CJ had a bad game, and I think the Knicks have really focused on stopping him, and they've done a good job. And look, got to give the Knicks some credit. I'm not going to be like a Knicks fan and blame everything else. I'm going to say, like, they came out with the right plan. They're playing well. They're putting the Hawks into what they want the Hawks to do, which is they're trying to force us in the half court game.
Mhm.
And they're making it hard for CJ. CJ was getting trapped a lot tonight, which I thought was interesting. Like, I didn't see that coming, but I mean, they're really making sure that he can't beat them. They're basically asking the Hawks to have someone else to come beat them. Nikhil, I thought, had an okay night. Like, seemed like it was starting to come on. Wasn't enough. I mean, I'm not asking for Nikhil to give us 30 points, but bro, give us, 22, 25, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just I just really don't want to see New York win in Atlanta in Game 6. I just don't.
I don't
Um,
think they will.
yeah,
I
you
don't
know
think
what?
they will.
Let's have that frame of let's have that positive mindset. They're not gonna do it. Not in our house. Not gonna happen.
And look,
Not gonna
I might
happen.
get clowned on by New York media and New York Twitter dorks because they all know me at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. Like these guys are notorious for getting soft and being cocky and not. And I'm talking about the Knicks team. Like
Hmm.
throughout the season, it's like Karl Anthony Towns. Like he looked great tonight, but given some adversity, like sometimes he disappears.
Hmm.
We've seen it
Yeah,
in this
absolutely.
series.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks can force a game 7, and then game 7, let the chips play
And
where they lie.
it's just so weird from coming from game 3 where Knicks fans were in a tizzy. People were saying fire Mike Brown, all this other
Yep,
stuff. And then
that's what they do.
like I said at the beginning of this episode, it's like they just all of a sudden woke up these past 2 games and it's like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? So but I do agree with you. I do agree that there's a lot of things that can work. There's the fixes that I'm seeing for the Hawks seem to be relatively easy fixes, as simple as like, hey, let Dyson guard Towns and
Yep.
stop, go draw a foul, go get hurt, go play
Yes,
physical,
yes,
go
yes.
take yourself to the line, stop shooting all these threes, and unless if you haven't made 2 in a game, I'm giving you a 3 limit. If you've shot 3 this game and you haven't made all 3 of them, stop taking them, take it to the paint, draw a foul.
Make 2 out of 3 and then keep shooting.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'll give you up to 7.
But that's my
If
limit.
you're not
That's my
positive
limit.
on 7,
3 a
like,
half.
yeah.
Three
Yeah.
a half. 3 a half. That's it. If you're
But if they're
0-3,
leaving you wide open, you gotta take the shot.
yeah, I understand you got to take the shot, but it's like, dude, when I saw that happen, when I saw 4 different players miss 3 points that were wide open in a row, like four possessions in a row, 4 missed 3 points in a row, wide open 3 points in a row. You got to understand that my brain felt like it was going to explode, dude.
I agree, but also like part of what's killed the Hawks is in these last 2 games is that 3-point shooting just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game 4, like there's so many things that went wrong or that went against us, and some of it was the way that we played.
Yeah.
When I say we, I mean the Hawks. And I've always said this, like people go, "Oh, you don't play on the team." I'm like, "Yeah, but when they lose, y'all say you lost." So
Yeah.
it's we. All right, it's we. We didn't hit the threes. That game 4, it was we couldn't shoot threes at all. Officiating was against us. Knicks came out and punched us in the mouth, and like all of a sudden we're back on our heels like early on in the game. This game was similar, but like we delayed it until like the end of that first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became like, where'd Dyson go? Why is Dyson on the bench? Why is he on the bench for this long? Dyson's like 24 years old, man. I bet he wants to play every single minute of this game. Let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let him do it. Quinn's got to figure out these rotations. Kispert ain't helping us, bro. Where's Risa Shea? Like, if we're gonna experiment, get Risa Shea out there. I'd rather see him develop in these types of games than see Corey Kispert come out there and put up fucking zeros.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
That's all I got though. How about them
Yeah.
Braves?
Yeah. On a lighter note, how about them Braves? The Braves have won 8 of their last 10 games. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They just beat the Tigers. They just started a series with the Tigers tonight. They were able to defeat the Tigers. Got to play them the next couple of days. And good news is on the horizon. From what I have read and seen today, it looks like Spencer Strider will be returning in the series against the Rockies. He's done with his rehab assignment, and he should be back for the series against the Rockies. If you give me a second, I can tell you when that starts.
Yeah, because what he
It's the
said.
series. It looks like Friday, May 1st. It looks like this Friday we should be getting
Nice.
Spencer Strider
Nice.
back.
Nice.
So yeah, and then also if you want to look at the standings in the National League East, the Braves are sitting so comfortably right now. It looks so good to see your favorite team sitting like this. They have a 7.5 game lead against the Marlins.
Oh my God.
So
it's only
pretty.
April.
Yeah, but when you look at numbers and you see that your team's a 700 team, not a 500 team, a 700 team at the moment, yeah, you feel really good. You feel really good. They're 11-5 at home and 10-4 away. And if you're not great at quick math, that means they are so far 21-9 for the season. Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, best team in baseball right now.
Yep. Best team in baseball by far.
I wouldn't say by far. Like the Dodgers and
Well,
Padres, I think are right
The
behind
Reds are
us.
2 games behind us. The
The
Dodgers are
Reds,
1 games.
okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the National League, in the East, you got the Braves and the Marlins. In the Central, you got the Reds and the Cubs. The Cubs are 17 and 12. And then in the
Yep.
West, you got the Dodgers and the Padres. Diamondbacks aren't too far back. The Diamondbacks are about 4 games behind the Padres, which will put them 5 games behind the Dodgers. And then the Cubs are only 2 games behind the Reds, and the Cardinals are only 1 game behind the Cubs. So, in all honesty,
We're owning our division,
we're
and
owning our division.
in
And
the
I was going to
National League,
say,
like, yeah, it's like every other division in the National League is so
is
tight.
neck and neck, but not us.
Not
Not
us.
us.
We're
Not
pulling
us.
away. And, I was telling my wife tonight, like, I'm not saying they're going to the World Series, but I am saying they're going to the
Well,
playoffs.
so let's talk about that for a second, because if you want to look at the American League, which normally I don't give a shit about, but in situations like this I do, because if you look at the East, the Yankees are sitting on top. The Yankees have 19 wins. The team that we just beat today, the Tigers, they are in the lead in their division in the American League Central, and they have 15 wins, 15 losses, so they're a perfect 500 right now. And then you got the Athletics in the West, who are leading theirs 15 to 13. So if you look at those last 2 leagues, we are sitting 6 wins above both of those first place leaders. And we are even sitting 2 games above the Yankees, who are leading theirs. So we are the best team in baseball right now.
Yeah, no, it's nice, man. Especially
So
like
I know you
considering
don't
how
want to
much better
look
we can be.
I know
Like
you don't want to
considering
look
when guys
too
come
far
back.
ahead. You don't want to just say World Series
No,
right now, but
no.
if we were playing, if we were playing a 21 game season right now, we would be in the World Series, because if you look at the American League, we have a better record than anybody in the American League right now.
Yeah, but there's 140 games left.
Yeah, there's a
So,
whole lot more left, and there's a whole lot of room for error. If you've never had your heart broken by baseball, then you and I have nothing in common.
and I have seen a Braves team that was leading like 8.5, like in June, and then they lose the division
Yeah.
lead.
To
So,
me, it's August and September are really where your
yeah.
season, that means everything. Those 2 months mean everything. And right now, it's weird how baseball works. You're going to see everybody who's cold. Like the Red Sox right now are only 12 and 18, sitting at 400. But it wouldn't surprise me if you see a resurgence out of them.
Sure.
You got the Phillies who are 10 and 19. They're 10 and a half games behind us, but at the end of the day, they're the Phillies. That doesn't mean that they can't come to life.
Phillies are a
You know,
bunch of goofballs, man. Them and the Mets,
yeah,
bunch of
absolutely.
goofballs. I ain't worried
Absolutely.
about them.
Absolutely. But
They're cooked.
if
As the
if
kids
there's
would say.
if there's anything to worry about, it would be the Marlins and the Nationals. The Nationals were able to beat us. They didn't take our series. We still have not lost a series, but the
Which is
Nationals did.
insane, yeah.
But the last game we lost was against the Nationals. But I will tell you, it's kind of you're in the situation where you haven't lost a series, so some games can just be gimmies. And when you see score lines like 11-4, like we lost to the Nationals, and I believe that was a game you and I covered, it's kind of just like, okay, cool. But then we came out the next day and we beat them and took the series. So things like that don't really bother me, especially when it comes to baseball. You're not going to win every single baseball game. That would be absolutely fucking absurd if it happened.
Yeah.
It's just like how you take your losses, like the way you recover from your losses and taking them in stride and going out the next day and still winning the series. So, Braves are looking great. I don't have much to say about the Braves because there's not much negative to say. There's not very many stories to cover. It's just like, hey, the Braves are really fucking good right now, and they're about to get better because Strider's coming back, and then Murphy's going to come back, and then Kim's going to come back, and then holy shit, we have nothing but good players on the team.
Ha-Seong Kim, like he's starting rehab assignments, so he'll
Yeah.
be back in the next month.
Yeah.
And then Schwellenbach, we should see, a couple weeks after that.
On the horizon, yeah. We should.
My thing with the Braves is that even if guys get hurt, and they will get hurt, like as the season goes on, it's like we have so many other guys that are coming back. They called up DDA Fuentes. I feel like they keep trying him out, keep giving him innings because maybe he becomes a reliable pitcher that you can use later on in the season. So I think the Braves ceiling we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, you are gonna need some reliable backup because as good as Chris Sale and everybody else has been, they're gonna hit a hump. They're gonna hit a midseason hump. God forbid something happens with your elbow or your shoulder. You need some like it's gonna happen. It's baseball.
Yeah.
It happens to every team every fucking season. It's a long season, the longest sports season there is, aside from European soccer where they play a year fucking round. You know,
Right.
it's your pitchers are gonna take wear and tear. Because I mean, dude, like go outside and throw a baseball 90 miles an hour over and over again for 7 innings straight. Like it's gonna suck, you know?
Yeah,
So
yo, I do want to say one more thing about the Braves and something that I've been meaning to bring up on the podcast, but it continues to be true. Like every week when we get done, I'm like, man, I wish I had brought this up. But I want to see the stats since the Walt Weiss,
mm,
Jorge
yeah.
Soler, Goldberg spear takedown. Like I feel like this team really became themselves like
Mhm.
when that moment happened because bro, we're unbeatable since then.
Yeah,
Like I want to see how
absolutely.
many games we've lost since then.
And what game was that? That was a game against the Angels, right?
That was against the Angels, yeah, and that was pretty early
Okay.
on. That was probably like I don't know,
So
2.5 weeks into the season.
since the Angels, let's see, since the Angels,
How many
which
games have we
we
lost?
first of all, we swept the series against the Angels.
Okay,
And then we went to we played against the Guardians and we swept the Guardians.
okay,
No, we didn't. We lost one to the Guardians. So
but then
since
was
the
that a 4 game
Angels,
series or a 3?
it was a 3-game series. So we
Okay,
lost one game to the Guardians. So since
so
then,
one
that's
loss.
one. That's one loss. Then we lost one game to the Marlins. Swept the Phillies. Lost one game to the
So that's
Nationals.
3. Yep, we definitely lost one in the Nationals.
Um, yep, and then swept us. So we've lost 3 games since the series with the Angels.
Bro, that was
Yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
that's one of those like season defining moments.
It has to be. Maybe that was our good luck.
Bro, you
Maybe
see your coach like spear a guy who's like, getting ready to, punch someone in the face, and your coach comes up and stands up for the team like that. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden, like they're hitting lights out and they're pitching lights out. Like it feels like one of those moments.
Well, speaking of which, the game we lost against the Guardians was the game. I think that was the game where Lopez had to be taken out in the first inning because he gave up
Okay.
like 4 runs or some shit like that.
Which whatever. It happens.
Yeah,
It
it
happens.
happens. It happens, dude. It
Chris Sale
happens.
had a bad start this year
Yeah,
too, but every other
but right
start
now
has
he's on
been
fire.
incredible.
You know,
Yeah.
he's looking
Every
great.
other start that he's done this year has been incredible. So,
So entertain me. Tell me if you will. Let's talk about the Falcons draft. Are you pleased with
yes,
it? Because we got
I'm
Zachariah
very
Branch.
pleased.
I was talking about how badly I wanted him, especially with all the praise that Steve Smith was giving him. And I'll tell you, if Steve Smith is co-signing that somebody to that level, he's somebody you want on your team. And like
Yep.
I said, you didn't get to see a whole hell of a lot of him in UGA, but there's obviously something that Steve Smith is seeing to put that much belief in him. And luckily he was still there for us to get, and we got him. And I'm very excited to see what we can do with Zachariah Branch. I'm hoping that it plugs the hole we need in the wide receiver room in a positive way.
Yeah.
I don't see this being a bad pick either way it goes. So I'm very excited about that. And then on top of that, we got Evian Terrell, who is AJ Terrell's little brother from Clemson. So
Yes.
we got that dynamic on the team now. I think we did pretty well in the draft. I'm pretty excited about it.
Bro, I think we did good. So first of all, like we were able to make a trade to where we had 5 picks in the draft and we ended up having 6.
Yeah.
And Ian Cunningham was kind of saying like draft capital was like his
Did
play.
he not do exactly what he said he was going to do
He did exactly what he said he was going to
from
do.
the quote that I read 2 weeks ago from Sports Illustrated? He did exactly what he said he was going to do.
No, it seems like so far Ian Cunningham is a guy that like you can take him at his word.
And I like when people do that. I like when
Yeah.
people, it's something I pride myself in as a father on a personal level. Like when I tell my kids that we are absolutely going to do something, I do whatever it takes, no matter how tired or upset or stressed out I am. I do what I say I'm going to do. So I really have respect for
And when you tell
anybody.
them no, it's got to mean no.
When I say no, I mean no. And I have nothing but respect for somebody, man or woman, anybody who stands by their word, where I said this is what I mean, this is what I'm going to do. And that makes me so comfortable to have him as
Mhm.
part of the Atlanta Falcons organization.
And when Ian Cunningham said, we are not going to have less draft picks than what we have right now,
I
meaning
believe him.
we are not going to trade up into the first round. We are not trading up into the first round. And here's what I love about this draft is that Avion Terrell was supposed to be he was projected to be a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he even had like the whole draft party at his house waiting to be drafted, family, friends and all that, and it didn't happen. He didn't get drafted in the first round. Well, he fell to 47. And all of a sudden, the team that his big brother's been on and has had, so much success with,
Yeah.
gives him a call. That in itself is a great story. Your younger brother gets called up on your team, like for a draft pick. Like, it's almost like if you and I were drafted to be on the same podcast, Joey.
Yeah. Can you
Imagine that.
imagine that?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Look at us finishing each other's sentences. Look
Yeah.
at that, dude.
Wouldn't that be crazy? So I think that's going to be cool. And Avion Terrell is a very versatile cornerback. I was talking about before the draft, a month ago, 2 months ago, like after the Falcons season ended, that we probably needed to look at someone to replace Mike Hughes. I'm not sure he like replaces Mike Hughes because you still have him. Like we didn't get off of his contract this year because it seems like he's going to still play for us. But you've also got Billy Bowman in the mix too. And
Yeah.
I kind of look at it as like Billy Bowman had an ACL injury at the end of the year or closer to the end of the year and probably won't be starting week 1. So Avion Terrell has a good chance to start opposite of AJ Terrell, to Terrell Islands, if you will.
Terrell Islands.
This dude, he's a little like undersized, but plays bigger than what he is.
Well, that's what a lot of people said about AJ too.
Exactly.
But I think we're just in that era of football, man. And I've said it last football season. We're just in that new hybrid era where everybody's taller, everybody's leaner, everybody's quicker. We're not in the powerhouse brooding,
Right.
Caveman level of barbarian football anymore. Everything's
Right.
more dynamic, more explosive.
You got to be
more
fast. You got to keep up with
You
these
have
wide
to be
receivers, and
fast. And in
that's
all
important.
honesty, when I see somebody playing his position, who's when I look at him, I see a skinny dude on the field. But to me, when I see football players now, skinny translates to fast. And just because they're
Exactly.
thin doesn't mean they're not strong. And if they can get to the ball quicker than the receiver, that's all that matters to me.
And think about the receivers that they're going up against. Like they're all burners. This is the NFL. Like you got to be ready to go up against a burner. Even if he's big, like if you can get in his face and you can stop him from having a clean look at the ball when it's coming at him, like that's good. And Avion's probably going to be, at least what I hear, and the way that he was doing at Clemson was like he's not necessarily like a big interception guy, but he's a make sure he doesn't catch it guy.
Yeah, he's just a disruptor, which
make
I'm
sure
fine
he's not
with,
open,
which I'm fine with because that also leads to a lot of tip drills. It does.
Yep. And then when Billy Bowman comes back, now you've got two guys, and when you're playing nickel, like and you're using 3 of these corners, like Avion or Billy Bowman can be your kind of like nickel corner where like they're playing the slot.
Right.
And so now you're really starting to close shit up. Like when it comes to getting into the secondary, the rest is going to be the linebackers and your front line. I feel like then you got your great safeties in the back. You've got Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts. Man, like this could be that might be like a steal of the draft. I'm not sure why Avion fell like so far like to get to us, because I bet you if Avion didn't fall that far, we probably would have taken Zachariah Branch in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the beauty is that we got Zachariah Branch in the third round.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. I can't believe Zachariah Branch was still there in the third round. And
Insane to me.
A lot of people want to say that his recent arrest had something to do with it. No, that recent arrest was some bullshit. It has nothing to do with his draft capital. It has nothing to do with his draft capital. And trust me,
the $35 smirk.
Dude, that is something.
Thank you, Hall County.
That's something at the very it was Clark County.
Clark County, I'm sorry, yeah.
That's something that at the very least he's going to pay a fine for if he even has the charges stick. Like, no, that had nothing to do with his draft.
Well, Clark County got their $35, I guess.
They sure did. They sure
maybe
did.
Hey, maybe there's a deputy out in Clark County that was looking out for the Falcons.
Yeah.
He was like, if this guy gets some kind of allegations before the draft, like maybe he falls to my favorite team.
You know me, so, like, I'm there I have to keep my mouth shut because there's so many things I don't want to publicly say, and I'm not gonna. So I'm just gonna leave it alone.
I think we
So,
all know what you're saying, but
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I
we all
mean,
agree with you.
innuendo, I would rather leave it open and let you fetishize about what I wanna
That's
say
right.
because I'm not gonna say it. I'm
Well,
just
I'm
not. I'm
fetishizing
not.
because the Falcons picked him, and
Exactly,
I'll take it,
exactly.
man.
There
And
we
look,
go.
and Zachariah Branch, like, he's gonna bring you a lot of speed, probably gonna play a lot of slot, wide receiver, gives you another threat next to Drake London. We talked about how this wide receiver room needed some depth.
Mhm.
I feel like they got that. This is the guy that we talked about. We would love to see there. Um, think about some of those like Taylor Gabriel plays that we had when Matt Ryan was here.
Yeah.
I can see Zachariah Branch doing that a
With Tua.
lot
With Tua,
with
baby.
with Tua. And
With
yo,
Tua.
with Tua.
I loved hearing the recent conversation with Tua saying that, like, this is a competition. Like, you gotta come ready to compete. So he's gonna be trying to get that starting spot, which you and I both know he has to begin with. He has it to begin with. He's the starter. There's no question about
I
it.
think
He's the
so. Well,
starter.
because
He's
he's healthy
absolutely the
now.
starter.
Because he's
Yes.
healthy now. I would love to see a competition between him and Penix, like when they're both healthy. Uh
And
Penix, unfortunately, like, is not healthy right
but
now.
Jeremy,
So
I wouldn't, and I've said it on here before. I don't want to see Penix compete for a starting spot. I want to see Penix sit his ass down and learn. Just watch and learn. Like
and
absorb
protect
as
his
much as you
knees.
can. Protect those fucking knees. Protect those knees. I just
It's
want to
hard to
see
do that
him
on the
learn.
football field.
Like just sit back and learn. Because you and I both love to bring this up. Jordan Love sat on the bench for how long until he was ready, and then
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers finally leaves the Packers, and you see Jordan Love go out there, and he's a playoff caliber quarterback because he took all
for
that
sure.
time developing and learning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly think Penix being thrown to the wolves the way he was with not having quite the knowledge he needed to play successfully in the NFL, kind of being skittish under center and them having to adjust calls to fit to him. I don't think that was beneficial to his career at all. So I think at the very least, he needs to take a season just watching and learning, and that's just me.
Yeah, and I think that, like, we can't read into the Penix and Tua conversation like too much, like with this new regime, because I feel like the new regime brought in Tua to be like, all right, this is our stopgap guy, and then we're gonna figure it out after that.
Hmm.
Whereas like Penix comes from the old regime where it was the debacle of, well, Penix is gonna sit behind Kirk Cousins. And then he didn't. They benched Kirk Cousins
Yes. Yes.
and brought out Penix, and he wasn't ready. So I don't know. I feel bad for Mike Penix because, like, he's kind of stuck with the situation that he's in, and I feel like he's fighting way uphill, especially
Yeah.
when you add the
But I
injuries.
feel like he's fighting too
Like,
hard. I feel like he's fighting too hard. And like, I'm not taking anything away from what you said. Everything you said is a very fair, very valid point. But he was brought in to learn. He didn't get the chance to do it. So now take your opportunity. Stop fighting to try to go back in there. Do what you were brought in to do initially, and that's learn behind a veteran. You got Tua, who's veteran. Learn behind him. You weren't allowed to play to learn behind Kirk Cousins. It didn't
that's a
work
good
out that
point.
way.
That's
But
a good point.
now you're available to do that. Now you have that opportunity. So relax, calm down, do what because you're so young. And if you stay away from these injuries, you still have so much of your NFL career left. What is one season of absorbing knowledge going to do to hurt your career? It's going to do the exact opposite. So like now you have the opportunity to do what you came into the league to do.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think about, like, he came into this league as a first round pick, and then he had his shot.
Mhm.
So you got to think in his mind, he's like, well, I should get starter money.
Oh, absolutely,
You know what
absolutely,
I mean?
absolutely.
Like,
And
if
also
you sit
you
behind Tua and then you ended up getting traded or not re-signed by the Hawks or by the Falcons, and you end up moving on to another team, it's like,
You're not
as
gonna
what?
get
As a
starter money. I
starter?
know. I
Doubt
understand.
it. Yeah.
I understand, and I understand where his mindset is as a competitor. It's like, I've been there once. I wanna keep doing it, and if it gets taken away, now I just gotta keep proving I'm good enough. I need to prove that I'm good enough. I need to prove I belong. Like, I get it. I understand that mentality. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to give to give advice is really what I'm ultimately trying to do. But I understand the mentality. I understand the mindset of it. I understand if you've been to the dance, you want to keep dancing. But it's just like, how much longer is it going to be? Because you're either gonna end up at another team and not be a starter, and then still get more of a chance to develop, or you're going to get thrust back in here, and 2 years from now, you're not going to have any more knees to stand on. You know,
And then 0 NFL
and
contracts. I
then
agree.
zero NFL money,
Yeah,
then zero NFL money.
I agree. I
So
agree.
I don't know, and I feel like if he's trying to compete right now, he's trying to compete too early. Like, I mean, what is it? Five knee
He's just trying to
surgeries.
not let go of this job, and it's like
Yeah,
there's
he's
a new
Uncle
regime coming
dude.
in,
Don't
and
turn
it's
into
like,
Uncle Rico now, bro.
no,
Don't
yeah,
Uncle Rico your life away, dude.
don't. Yeah, and the new regime, like I can tell they're not in love with Michael Penix.
Yeah,
So
it's blatantly obvious too.
Tua's going to start week 1. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
Mm,
No doubt in my mind
mm. Now, do you
because
think
he's the guy that's healthy right now.
Penix probably won't even play in preseason? I don't think
I mean,
it's too risky.
timeline wise, like
I don't think he'll be available to play by
exactly,
then.
like from his injury, he
Because
got injured in what, like November or
preseason's what,
something?
June? No, not June.
Oh,
Preseason is like
they're gonna get
August.
him together. They're gonna get him together in July.
Yeah, July, August. Yeah,
July's gonna be training camp, and then like we're gonna be playing like probably like last week of July. We'll be doing preseason games.
yeah. Yeah, July, August, because the season starts in September. Yeah, because it always coincides with deer season. So
Yeah,
for my,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah, look at your shirt.
I know. You know, I mean, I will say I'm a city boy, but I do some country boy shit too.
That's right. Hey,
People
don't we
people in
all?
high school didn't realize that just because I had, like, punk rock patches on my pants and holes, and they
That
don't
mean I never
understand.
been to damn deer camp.
No, they don't understand that literally the day before I was pulling a deer out of the woods. Like,
There you
I got
go.
both sides. I got both sides of
There you
South.
go.
I
Same
got
here.
both
Yeah.
sides of Southern running through my blood, baby.
Yeah. Like, what are you damn liberal? And you're like, I got this
Yeah.
deer blood all over me.
Yeah. I mean, I pull up to the fishing hole blasting misfits, and then I'll catch a bass bigger than yours. What
Yep.
about it?
Exactly. Exactly. That's how we roll.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm fighting sleep right now, to be completely
Yep.
honest.
Yep.
It's
It's a late
midnight here,
one,
guys. It's not going to be midnight when you guys hear, or maybe it is. It'd be cool if it was midnight when you hear us. I would love
Yeah.
to be the last
We'll
thing
be
you
up
guys
very
hear.
soon.
I would love to hear the last thing you guys hear before you go to bed, or maybe you're working that night shift, making that night shift money. Wherever you are, I'm
You're
glad you're
coming home
listening
from the
to
night
us.
shift and you're listening to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But wherever you're listening to us, I'm glad that you are. And you can continue to do so on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on every podcast platform available worldwide. You can
That's right.
hear A Town Rundown. You can watch us at YouTube at A Town Rundown. You can follow us on Instagram at A Town Rundown. We don't do Facebook, but we do X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the same name. A Town Rundown. Everything is A Town Rundown. You can listen to Jeremy's band, Sunmancer. They got a really good show coming up if you want to tell them about it.
Yeah. Big show next Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, baby, May 5th.
Cinco de Drunko.
Cinco de Drunko come out May 5th. Atlanta Masquerade in heaven. Okay, if you show up to the Masquerade, go straight to heaven. You'll see us opening for All That Remains, Born of Osiris, and Second Death.
Are you doing a mariachi set?
No, but I will have my mustache going.
Hell yeah.
Don't worry. All right, for the culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, come out and see us. We may or may not be playing some new stuff.
Ooh,
But it's gonna be a great show. One of the biggest shows we've ever done. So come out and see us. Come out and support.
nice. That's going to be great. So, all right, guys, thanks for bearing with us. Hopefully the Hawks can pull this off. We'll see what happens, and we
Hawks
will
in
talk to you.
7.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hawks in 7, baby. We'll see what happens, and we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Oh.